Yes, let's see how far we'll go on this. These are our last topic. So this topic is called audit evaluation and reviews. Audit evaluations and reviews. Abdi, you don't have a copy? Yes. Oh, so audit reviews and audit evaluations and the reviews. So before writing, I'm drafting an auditor report, auditors need to undertake certain review as per the standards requirement. Like one such area is a going concern. The second one, subsequent events. The other one is the overall audit reviews. Then the last one is obtaining the management written representation. So we shall begin by looking at the going concern. The going concern review as a matter considered by the auditor at the point of auditor finalization, and that's done according to the ISA 570, the going concern, according to the ISA 570. So we should be able to define the term, what's a going concern, from our accounting knowledge. The other one, we should be able to identify the indicators that can tell from there is some doubt about the entity being a going concern. And the other one, we must be able to understand the responsibility of the auditor and also the manager when it comes to the going concern matters. Then lastly, auditors are procedures. Auditors are procedures to be performed with respect to a going concern. So going concern is just a fundamental accounting assumption, which normally says there is that a belief that the entity shall continue to be in the operation until that foreseeable future without necessarily curtailing its operation significantly. So how we have that definition of the term going concern as an assumption that the entity will be in operation for more than one accounting period. Yes, for more than one accounting period. The management of the company is required to ascertain whether the company is a going concern or not, is a going concern or not. Sasa hiyo period is normally determined between what you call the reporting date. The reporting date, that's when the auditors make their report and get ready to be presented to the members. Alafu tuko na ile balance sheet date. The balance sheet date. The balance sheet date. So from the auditor's reporting date is normally 6 months a period. From the auditor reporting dates, the ascertainment of the going concern is normally a period of 6 months. There's that possibility that that business may not survive a period of 6 months. Then on the balance sheet date, on the reporting date of the financial statements, is normally 12 months period. Normally 12 months period. So that business, there's a possibility that it will not survive. It's going to be ceasing its operations. Okay, so we have the responsibilities for ascertaining a company going concern. Is need to know what auditors are supposed to be doing, then what managers are supposed to be doing. Are the directors of the company? At this point, you understand that it is the directors or the managers who do prepare the financial statements. And as they do so, they must be able to follow this particular fundamental accounting concept, preparing the financial statements based on what we call the going concern. Now that's as per the accounting standards, IS what? IS 1. The going concerns on the IS 1, the financial statements must be presented in a manner that the entity is a going concern. Now, when the going concern, the entities are doubtful, then this principle of accounting says the financial statements need to be prepared on what you call the breakup basis. The breakup basis needs to be prepared on what you call the breakup basis, or the liquidation basis, or the liquidation basis. Liquidation basis. So when the going concern, the entity is doubtful, but that entity will not survive the next 12 months, then the financial statements needs to be prepared on based what we call the breakup basis or the liquidation basis. So this implication is that the non-current asset of the business, the non-current assets will all become what? The current. So will be presented as a current assets. Now, all the long-term liability of the business, or the long-term liability of the business will crystallize and be presented in the financial statements beyond to be current. That means, if the company or the firm had a long-term loans, those long-term loans should be repaid within a period of what? Less than 1 year. There's something like inventory item as a current asset. Inventory items should be presented what we call the post sale value. The post sale value, that's the amount that they can easily fetch in the market if they be disposed by the firm immediately. Those are some of the conditions of our IAS in the presentation of the financial statements. They should be presented in a manner that the entity is a going concern. And if there's a lack of going concern, the manager should be able to do it. Do the breakup basis or the liquidation basis presentation. So auditors to confirm the adequacy of the going concern in the presentation of the financial statements. To confirm if the managers for that fundamental accounting assumption in the preparation of the financial statements. Come there is a violation, then there shall be disagreement, and the auditor may consider to qualify the report depending on maybe the materiality of that particular matter. So let's go to the responsibility of ascertaining a company's going concern. So the primary responsibility of ascertaining and assessing the appropriateness of the presenting financial statements on a going concern, that should not be okay. That should be raised with the management, not raised, but raised with the management of the client company. So that's the management responsibility to ensure that the financial statements are prepared in accordance with this fundamental accounting principle. Two, the going concern assumption is a fundamental principle underlying the preparation of the financial statements. Next, the management should therefore make an assessment of the entity's ability to continue as a going concern and prepare the financial statements on a going concern basis unless the company is intending to liquidate. In assessing whether the entity is a going concern, the management should take into consideration the information for at least one accounting period or 12 months. Then you have the auditor's responsibility. It's very important to understand the auditor's responsibility, you as an auditor. So what are the things that should be undertaking as far as the going concern assumption is concerned? Okay, the going concern assumption is concerned. Okay, sasa Barbara. Anitwa Barbara Manane. Yes, Barbara. So that will be done after the class. So auditor's responsibility with respect to going concern. So under the provision of ISA 570, auditors have a responsibility of ensuring that the client accurately deals with the going concern issues which affects the client's company. The auditor can, however, perform the following procedures in relation to going concern of the company. So the procedures undertaken by the auditor: one, reviewing the indicators of the going concern problems which may be present in the client company. So based on your professional judgment, you should be able to identify some of the going concern problems indicators. The number two, performing standard auditor procedures in order to confirm the existence of going concern problems. The number three, confirming whether directors have used the correct basis of accounting and that they have disclosed the going concern problems in the financial statements. Then number four, confirming whether appropriate measures have been put in place to detect any going concern problems. The next, consider the effects of the going concern problems of the auditor report, the implication of those matters in the auditor's report. The next, last one, consider the effects of the going concern problems on the truth and fairness of the financial statement. So those are the procedures that are taken by the auditor with respect to going concern. Once they identify, then they check the adequacy in the presentation disclosure in the financial statements. Then they also perform other procedures like being able to detect if there is any problem casting doubt on the going concern of the entity. So then we have the directors. Directors and management responsibility. Directors and management responsibilities with respect to going concern. So one, reviewing the financial statements in order to ascertain whether there are any indicators of the going concern problems. Alafu number two, they should prepare the financial statements on a going concern basis, liquidation or the breakup basis. Number three, they should ensure that appropriate measures are put in place to minimize going concern problems. So in case going concern problems, then the management should take certain mitigational measures. So you as an auditor need to confirm if the entity was facing going concern problems, what action did the managers take by reviewing the minutes of the directors, the minutes of the board members meetings, to check if there was any action about mitigating the going concern problems. Or there are certain rescue packages for dealing with the going concern problems that were approved by the directors. Number four, they should also ensure that adequate disclosures have been made in the financial statements in relation to going concern problems. Then five, they should also ensure that there is compliance with the initial accounting standards when making disclosures with respect to going concern problems. Then the last one, they should also review the company's cash flow statements, budget forecast, etc., in order to ascertain where the company is a going concern. So those are the responsibilities of the directors when it comes to the going concern matters. Okay, we have the indicators of going concern problems. So here they have been divided into three categories. However, when you're being tested in the exam, it's not a must form. You have to also classify them in the three categories. You can just give it in a random order in terms of identifying those indicators of going concern problems. So the first category is there. We have the financial indicators. We're checking the financial indicators, the financial performance, the position of the entity, if there is a negative trend in those financial indicators, then it could be telling that the entities are facing going concern problems. Like one, negative operating cash flow. As when you check the cash flow, find there is a negative balance on that cash flow, but it must be for subsequent years, not just 1 year. It must be maybe more than 2 successive years. Number two, substantial losses. That is making huge losses. Another one, inability to pay creditors on due dates. They're struggling to pay creditors. That one affects their working capital. It means in terms of the finances, their working capital is overstretched. They're not having that enough current assets to meet their current liabilities. Another one is arrears of dividends. Dividends in arrears, not areas, but arrears of dividends or dividends in arrears. Dividends in arrears for a number of periods. Dividends in arrears. The other ones are working capital problems. Working capital problems. That means there is a negative, maybe a balance in the working capital. The difference between current assets and the current liability. The current liability happens to be more than the current assets. They have a problem in managing their working capitals. The other ones, they use the short-term borrowings to finance long-term projects. They use of short-term borrowings to finance long-term projects. The other one is a fixed-term borrowing approaching maturity without prospective intention to pay. Then we have operating indicators. So one is an inability to renew trading alliances. Yeah, they have challenges to renew trading licenses. It could be due to non-compliance issues. The other one are labor difficulties that's affecting their staff, frequent unrest among the staff or the strike among the staff. The other is the loss of a key management staff without a replacement. The other one is a high employee turnover. The other one, over reliance on one or few products. Then other indicators, and other indicators is a non-compliance with the statutory requirements, is what they have difficulties in that areas to comply with the necessary statutory requirements. The other ones are pending legal cases against the company. Then next, changes in legislation adversely affecting the entity. Then the last one, an economical long-term commitment, etc. So those are some of the few indicators that could be pointing that the entity is having going concern issues. So we have the standard procedures, or standard audit procedures for going concern. The standard audit procedures for the going concern. So what auditors can do. So one there, the auditor should analyze and discuss cash flow statement and other forecast with the management. Yes, auditor should try to have a discussion with the management if the entity is facing going concern problems. The auditor should analyze and discuss the entity's financial statements and reports. Then the next, the auditor should review the terms of the debenture and loan agreements and determine whether any of the agreements have been breached. The other one, the auditor should read the meeting minutes of the directors and shareholders for the reference of any going concern problems or financial difficulties. Next, the auditor should inquire from the company lawyers about any possible claim against the company which may be pending in court. The next, the auditor should review post-balance sheet events, subsequent events, to ascertain whether there is any that might affect the entity's ability to continue as a going concern. So there is a question there, but that's not an area of interest now. So we go to the reporting with regarding to going concern. So what auditors are reporting procedures of these matters to do with the going concern. So one, if the auditor finds that the going concern of the company is questionable, he should consider whether the entity has disclosed the going concern problems in the financial statements. So if you're doubting about the going concern, the entity is doubtful. So you need to consider what they've done with respect to their financial statements or presentation. So if the entity has disclosed the going concern problems, then the auditor should issue an qualified opinion with an emphasis of the matter paragraph. Yes, they've done proper disclosure in the notes on that matter, casting doubt on the entity as a going concern a matter. So what they're going to do, we're going to give a good report, but with an emphasis of the matter paragraph. That emphasis of the matter paragraph is meant to draw the attention of the readers to go to that particular note in the financial statements to read and be able to make their own independent or informed judgment pertaining to that matter, which according to the auditor's knowledge, the managers have taken reasonable measures in its presentation and disclosure in the books of the accounts as per the standard requirement. The number two, if the entity has not disclosed the uncertainty regarding the going concern, and the uncertainty is seen to be mentioned to the auditor should issue adverse opinion. Yes, the auditor should issue adverse opinion if nothing has been done and that matter is there, which is casting doubt on the entity going concern matter. So that part will issue adverse opinion, and that's a stronger type of a qualification of the audit. There is a material matter there. There is a disagreement in the application of the accounting standards. And for that case, we're going to issue adverse opinion. Then if the auditor does not if the matter doesn't, if the matter does not seem to be mentioned to the auditor, the auditor should express a qualified opinion, except for ways of mitigating going concern problems. So that matter has not been well mentioned. So what it is going to do is to issue a qualified opinion, but with except for kind of a qualification. Okay, so there is something which is appearing there. Is on the ways of dealing with ways to mitigate going concern problems. Is a points there. There is something which is missing there. Those are ways on mitigating the going concern problems. Ways to mitigate the going concern problems. Ways to mitigate the going concern problems. So what can be done to mitigate the going concern problems? The ways to mitigate the going concern problems. One, negotiating on credit extension. Yes, you can also do for what you call the data restructuring a debt. I hope you know how we can restructure debt. It's dual national. Restructuring a debt. Debt restructures. You can negotiate the terms. So kama uko unalipa like 50K per month, and you find kwamba it's a lot on your side, then you can negotiate with the bank to reduce it to maybe 20 or 30 still. Or sometimes you can even talk to them to extend that repayment period. The other one is having cost-cutting measures, i.e. staff reduction. Yeah, so reduce the number of the staff, as long as you can have a lean management force in place. So you can think about that one, so long as it helps you to achieve the operational efficiency in terms of cost reduction. The other ones are, though cost cutting is always not a very good option for every business. Cost cutting should not always be there. That should be the last option. Every business, the cost reduction should be the last option. The moment you start cutting cost, you have to be about this. This is the most important thing. Not about this. Very much something. Any manager that talks about cutting cost, I'm not looking for alternatives of reducing cost. That's not a very good business. The management, a good manager should be talking about what? How to maximize what? Revenue. Because you could be thinking about cutting costs, but you're cutting costs from what? You are cutting costs from where? It's always about revenue maximization. But sometimes to achieve operational efficiency, there are some redundant resources that needs to be done with. When somebody is just employed, but doesn't have a lot of work to do, but being paid a lot of money. Such a case, then you can talk about what? The cost reduction measures. But in most cases, it should be all about revenue. And looking for opportunities on how you can increase the revenue. Once you increase your revenue, you'll be able to sustain your business operations. Okay, the other one is about converting debts into equity. Yes, those debts that you have, you can talk with them and convert them to equity. You allocate them shares. They have now ownership rights in the company. The other ones are closing down of loss-making branches. They are closing down of loss-making branches. The other one is the sale of the company assets. The sale of company assets, that's the fixed assets. Or then the other one is downsizing. That should be downsizing operation, not corporation. Downsizing operation. Downsizing operation. Downsizing operation. Then the other one, you can go for the mergers. Mergers. So mergers is a way of growing and expanding. It has got certain benefits to the company. The mergers and acquisitions, they have benefits to the company. Like Sana about enjoyment of the economies of a scale. Enjoyment of the economies of scale. And now you're part of a partnership and sharing ideas, sharing resources, the management expertise, etc. So those are certain measures that can be taken as part of mitigating the going concern problems. So what happens when we have a holding company? We have this parent company. This parent company can some subsidiaries. Because one subsidiaries, and those subsidiaries are facing going concern problems. So as an auditor, what is one of the things that you need to check? Because these subsidiaries needs to be supported by the parent company. the parent company or the managers there, they should be giving certain commitment. Yes, these are what we're doing to assist this subsidiary to overcome the going concern what problems. So also an auditor was something that will be checking into the support letters. What you call the support letters. You will be checking the support letters, which is now a commitment put in place by the managers there, or the parent holding company directors. They're going to do things to assist that subsidiary company to overcome the current going concern what problems. So let's check if you have questions from that topic on going concern. Thereafter, we can now move on to subsequent events. I can see Valine is checking that out, wondering all these things. Valine, that's just a gist of it. About I don't know whether people can identify these questions easily on going concern. Valine. Not yet, not yet. But we shall be there, don't worry. Or see any question on going concern, yes. Any question where anywhere about going concern? More I want to break for prayers. So let's break for prayers, then Rudy to angalia hizo questions as we proceed on to subsequent events. So
Immediately after, I think we answer promote from it's yeah. I think 7 to well, close. That's as close as I'm it's really depending. Actually, yes. The topic here, so that. So, right, yeah, you could know.
Yes, and construction, we are thinking. Like, a master degree, then I let you buy.
Yes.
Construction.
Yeah, but-
That's the way to go French, when you're in the.
Okay.
Construction of Michigan is.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Oh.
It's really funny, but
So who's with this?
the construction next time, anyways. Yeah.
It's time when you promise to do some switch, not a sample. So that actually for that. That's why we came in Dora taxi. Wengine niko nazo. Next week sasa natafuta niweke Dora. That's so this week that's it. That is that construction. Yeah. Bank is okay. So I think
So like open value about that's 3 marks. Unapata kulimax. Iko hivi. Similar to that. Kabla tulifika exam, tuko ndio gani? Ndio umetoka exam nasema by the way kama ile tuliwahi fanya fine.
Nikitoka exam anasema gani? Tunanyamaza.
Tulitoka exam tunarudi hapa kusoma. Sasa tukirudi tunapata tunao yenye tulikuwa nao class. Exam matatu. Na hata nilifanya exam watu walikuwa na nia. Wengine ni walioka watu wanaona sikarasia kufanya.
You think you're the best. Kamoja.
Unataka
Najibu kamoja.
mimi nijibu visualize karatasi ya kama sipina Yesu. Mimi sema cha nyingine. Kwa story moja basi 5 minutes time. Na imagine nikiingia exam nilikuwa najua hiyo swali. Mimi siku kwa nikaitoa kwa mind. Sasa nione 5 minutes time. like A.A.A. Hiyo kwa sasa hivi ningekuwa nyumbani na muda vizuri sana. Bora basi na vizuri sana.
Unaweza kuwa na bahati.
Ile ilikuwa ni bahati.
Sasa zingine inakuwa bahati.
Mimi nataka bahati. Hadi tunaenda kwa Mungu.
Mungu ndiye anasisi style.
Tunachibu Mungu.
That's what it is.
Tunaomba. Sasa hivi na Mungu tuko hivi. Tuko hivi.
Na Mungu atakupa.
Unajua ni akasikia kazi ndio lakini kwa hiyo kama hizo streams au ni application ni direct kama ni sasa niseme ni direct kwa launching wewe fanya wewe ndio
In terms of risk, in terms of approach, in terms of more than 2 weeks. After hiyo wiki tunaweza kufanya jambo moja. Tunafanya after 2 months.
Next week inapita.
The second Monday.
Next week inapita.
Next week inapita.
Another week.
Another week inapita.
Ile nyingine
Hakuna tunafanya so for 2 weeks and like 2 days. Au kusikao tunaona kesho ile malala.
bwana. Everywhere got my brain cooperated. Brain made cooperated.
2 weeks, tell them the special to 3 days.
Wewe sasa ndio sisi. Mimi mwenye nimesahau kitu nyingi. Tena nishangaa tuna madrasa nyingi. So it's strictly 2 minutes. Hii ndio ni dream. Sasa huyo kuniambia 2 weeks bwana. Niko na exam moja na moja. Hazifuatani. Then same day niko na kaa. The next day niko na exam moja nyingine. So nikifanya leo kuna kesho moja. Kama ile asubuhi kuna kuchelewa unafanya ile
Let's check this question. So turn to November 2015. November 2015. November 2015. November 2015. Question number 4. Question number 4, part B. November 2015, question number 4, part B. November 2015, question number 4, part B. November 2015, question number 4, part B. Question number 4, part B. November 2015, question number 4, part B. So the question is like this. The question is like this. The question is like this. Your question part B. Describe the audit procedures that an auditor will perform to assess whether or not a client entity is a going concern. They describe the audit procedures that an auditor will perform to assess whether or not a client entity is a going concern. So are you able to identify the audit procedures auditor will undertake to assess whether or not a client entity is a going concern? So what are the things that I can do to assess whether the client entity is a going concern or not? So we can just have a summary of those procedures. So 1, review the indicators of going concern problems. Review the indicators of the going concern problems, if any. Review the indicators of going concern problems, if any. The next, confirm the going concern problems indicators. Confirm the going concern problems existence. Confirm the going concern problems existence through a standard audit procedures. Through a standard audit procedures. The next, review the financial statements. Review the financial statements to ascertain whether the management. Review the financial statements to ascertain whether the management have complied with accounting standards. Have complied with accounting standards in their presentation and disclosure. In their presentation and disclosure. Next, review whether the management have put in place. Review whether the management have put in place appropriate measures. Review whether the management have put in place appropriate measures to detect any going concern problems. To detect any going concern problems. Detect any going concern problems. Next, review the board of directors minutes. Review the board of directors minutes. Review the board of directors minutes to confirm any discussion. To confirm any discussion. To confirm any discussion regarding going concern problems. To confirm any discussion regarding going concern problems. To confirm any discussion regarding going concern problems. Next, hold discussion with the management. Hold discussion with the management. Hold discussion with the management to discuss. Hold discussion with the management to discuss any potential going concern problems. Any potential going concern problems affecting the entity. Affecting the entity. Affecting the entity. Going concern problems affecting the entity. Going concern problems affecting the entity. So I can check another question. We can check another question on May 2019. For May 2019, question number 4. For May 2019, question number 4. May 2019, question number 4A. 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 So the question reads like this. Question 4A, May 2019, question 4A. The question reads like this. Think that you are the auditor of Wasiwasi Limited. You are the auditor of Wasiwasi Limited. You are the auditor of Wasiwasi Limited. Oh no. Your audit of Wasiwasi Limited indicates that one or more material uncertainties exist regarding the company's ability to continue as a going concern. In view of the above circumstances, discuss 4 matters that should be considered informing your audit opinion and the potential impact on the auditor's report. Yes, so in view of the above circumstances, discuss four matters that should be considered in forming your final audit opinion and the potential impact on the auditor's report. So there is a matter there of uncertainty, material uncertainty regarding the company's ability to continue as a going concern. So what are the matters there will you consider when you want to report on that particular matter? And how is it going to impact on your auditor opinion? So the very first thing that you need to do when that matters come to your knowledge is hold discussion with the client management. Number one, hold discussion with the client management. Hold discussion with the client management. Hold discussion with the client management to find out measures taken in addressing the problem. Measures taken in addressing the problem. Measures taken in addressing the problem. The next, perform audit procedures. Perform standard audit procedures. Perform audit standard procedures on the matters identified. Perform audit procedures on the matters identified. Next, advise the management of the action to be taken, in the presentation and the disclosure, of the matter in the financial statements. Next point, if managers amend the financial statements, as per the accounting standards requirement, then issue an qualified report, with an emphasis of the matter paragraph, with an emphasis of the matter paragraph. The next point, when managers are faced to take appropriate measures, regarding the uncertainties, then issue adverse opinion. The other question is on September 2021. September 2021. Question number 2. September 2021. Question number 2. September 2021, question number 2. Part B and C, that's the area of our interest. September 2022. Part B and C. September 2022. Point 2 tuliandika aje? Point 2. Point 2 for that answer. What did we write? Point 2. Point 2 is a Rose point 2. Perform standard audit procedures on the matters identified. Perform standard audit procedures on the matters identified. So our next question is on that question number, September 2021. Question number 2, part B and C. Question number 2, part B and C. Question B and C. So question B reads like this. Is on page 20. Page 20. Page 20. Page 20. It reads like this. September 2021, question 2B. Explain the role of support to comfort letters as evidence in the audit of group financial statements. Of the group financial statements. Is explain the role. Explain the role of support or comfort letters as evidence in the audit of the group of the financial statements. Was it explained briefly where it's applied in the case of the holding companies, where to put the subsidiaries, and those subsidiaries are affected by the going concern problems. The managers now want to put some assurance from there are certain rescue or the mitigation measures they're going to do it to put in place to assist that company to continue these operations normally. So what is the support letter? So you're being tested in the support letter. So what is a support letter? So what is a support letter? A support or a comfort letter is supporting the subsidiary, relating that letter as a security. So support letters, andika that andika the following of the support letters, so comfort letters, support letters, so comfort letters, support letters, stroke comfort letters. Write the following: consolidated financial statements. Consolidated financial statements are prepared on a going concern basis, when a going concern group is considered to be a going concern, is considered to be a going concern, However, the going concern basis, may only be appropriate for certain separate legal entities. for certain separate legal entities. For certain separate legal entities. E.g. subsidiaries, e.g. subsidiaries, because the parent undertaking, because the parent undertaking, because the parent undertaking, or a fellow subsidiary, because the parent undertaking, or a fellow subsidiary, or a fellow subsidiary is able and willing to provide support, is able and willing to provide support, is able and willing to provide support. Is able and willing to provide support. Most banks routinely require, most banks routinely require, most bank routinely requires a letter of reassurance, a letter of reassurance, a letter of reassurance, a letter of reassurance from a parent company, from a parent company, from a parent company, stating that the parent would financially or otherwise, the parent would financially or otherwise, the parent would financially or otherwise support a subsidiary, support a subsidiary with cash flow, with cash flow, with cash flow, or other operational problems, or other operational problems, or other operational problems, or other operational problems. Support letters provides the following audit evidence. Support letters provides the following audit evidence. Support letters provides the following audit evidence relating to the subsidiary's ability, relating to the subsidiary's ability, relating to the subsidiary's ability to continue as a going concern, to continue as a going concern. Relating to the subsidiary's ability to continue as a going concern, relating to the subsidiary's ability to continue as a going concern. So just a summary, number one is a formal confirmation of the support. Formal confirmation of the support. Formal confirmation of the support. Number two, approval by the board of directors. Approval by the board of directors. Approval by the board of directors, e.g. board minutes. Approval by the board of directors, e.g. board minutes. Approval by the board of directors, e.g. board minutes. Number three, ability of the parent to support the company. 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 E.g., a group cash flow forecast. A group cash flow forecast. Next, the period of the support may be limited. The period of support may be limited, e.g. to 1 year from the date of the letter, e.g. to 1 year from the date of the letter, e.g. 1 year from the date of the letter or until the date of disposal, or until the date of the disposal of subsidiary, or until the date of the disposal of subsidiary. The other one is evaluation of the loan or overdraft. Evaluation of the loan or overdraft. Evaluation of the loan or overdraft. So but C, that one you can only do after you've covered the groups consolidations, which will come later. So let's reserve that for another time. Yes.
Can you explain more on this side of comfortable?
Evelyn has not understood it. You support the medical literature as a main example. Is a literature na faida kusaidia ku understand what is happening there. Hiyo literature na faida kusaidia ku understand what's happening. Okay, sasa bali tuko na parent company ambayo iko financially stable, iko financially sound. Then iko na subsidiaries A, iko na B, iko na C. So this B upper is unwell, and some financial difficulties. Is going concern is in doubt. Whether it will survive the next 12 months, that matter is in doubt. So there is a possibility for this B want to get some financial assistance, for example, from the bank. So being that this is the parent and these are like the children now. You cannot just leave your children. If you assess Pamba, yes, it's a possibility for it to survive. You still don't have that need to dispose it. So what we do, we give some assurance, a support. So we shall give you some assurance to the bank. Yes, we're going to do this and this. This is how we're going to finance these subsidiary. They can come back to what? To business. So just a kind of an assurance the parent is now providing in terms of what? The financial support to that subsidiary that's facing going concern problems to maybe the bank or to any other investment what? So yes, just an assurance that is being provided by the parent. We're going to take care of this subsidiary. We are financially capable. We have got money. And that's one of the requirement Apple must give the financial, so what you call the cash flow projections or the cash flow statements. Show company you are liquid. You are in the position to support in the subsidiary operations. And you have to be very clear what time period. Is it 1 year or 2 years? That must be clearly stated in that particular letter. And that's why you need to the letter of what? Comfort. You're comforting. Yes, just take time. Everything you want. Okay, don't worry. We are here for you. Yes, we'll assist you. But if you find proper things are worse, then you're going to take what? An action. Okay, so next question is we have another question. Yes, there's another question is December 2021. December 2021, question 2B. Question 2B. Question 2B. So that question I should leave it to Evelyn. Evelyn, I think you can get time and have a discussion on that question. Your December 2021, question 2B. Question 2B. Question 2B. That question I can give it to Evelyn to lead the discussion. Or Victor, you want to assist in leading a discussion on that question? It's a question that requires a lot of our thinking as an auditor. Our work is to think and think and think and be logical in our reasoning to get the right answers. So that's December 2021. Your question 1B, you're supposed to be doing it. It has some information there. Then at the end of it is about discuss with justification whether you will agree with the audit senior conclusion in each of the cases. So that question, Evelyn, you'll take over, still. You'll take over now. No, you have to lead and answer to that question, guide us. So you give me time to read. We can do it tomorrow. How much just now? Okay. So let me read that question. You are the audit manager of ABC and Co, a firm of a certified public accountants. Currently, you are responsible for the audit of two companies, A.A.A. Limited and M Limited. The year end for each of the companies is 30th June. You are currently reviewing the audit working papers, files, and auditor senior's recommendation for the auditor's reports. The details are as follows. So Roman 1, A.A.A. Limited is a subsidiary of K Limited. Serious going concern problems have been noted during this year's audit. A.A.A. Limited will be unable to trade for the foreseeable future unless it continues to receive financial support from the parent company. A.A.A. Limited has received a letter of support, call for letter from K Limited. The audit senior suggested that due to the seriousness of the situation, the audit opinion must at least be qualified except for. Yes, the audit senior has suggested that due to the seriousness of the situation, the audit opinion must be at least be qualified except for. The Roman 2, M Limited has changed its accounting policy for goodwill during the year from amortization over its estimated useful life to annual impairment testing. No disclosure of this change has been made in the financial statements. The carrying amount of goodwill in the statement of financial position as of 30th June 2021 is the same as the 30th June 2020, as the management impairment test show that it is not impaired. The audit senior has concluded that the qualification is not required, but suggests that attention could be drawn to the change by way of emphasis of the matter paragraph. So required, discuss with justification whether you would agree with the audit senior conclusion in each of the cases above. Discuss with the justification whether you would agree with the audit senior conclusion in each of the cases above. Huh? Why?
Only the emphasis without disclosure.
Yes, because it requires the stakeholders the users must be adequately informed. That matter ought to have been in the notes of the accounts. The presentation must have been done in accordance with the ISA's requirement, of which there is a violation in this particular case. So that will not be enough. So we have to issue adverse opinion. Adverse opinion. So yes, that's Victor is right on that. What about your one? Your part one, what are you going to do? with respect to scenario 1. Scenario 1, where there's a commitment of the support letter, what are you going to do?
Asking for exemptions when not to give a support.
Exemptions. No, already they've said what's going to happen there. The old seniors are suggested what they're about to do. So the exam is just you understand whether you are in agreement or not with what the old seniors are putting across regarding that. Berlin, what do you think we do? Yeah, what will you do? Yes, you may agree. Moment, what do you think we'll do?
I think I'll agree with the policy since and the that has very concern issues have brought the attention of the auditor on the support that was already.
Okay, so Nation, what do you think? Nation.
If you respond on accept form.
Huh?
What do you mean by accept?
Tumesahau audit report.
Since the issue support letter give
Unqualified because I've issued a support letter give unqualified.
support letters are in place,
Hmm.
which is an assurance.
Yeah, which is an assurance.
Right.
Sasa pale kwa report tulisema kwamba kuna 2 reasons for the qualification of a report. There are 2 reasons why a report could be qualified. The qualifications, there are 2 reasons why the report could be qualified. The kwanza ilikuwa ni limitation of the scope. A limitation of scope. You require kwanza. Labda pili tusema nini? Design. Sio national. Design. So under limitation of the scope, kuna 2 areas. Under limitation of the scope, there are 2 areas. The matter is material. Some matter is material, but not university, but not pharmacy. The second one is material and pharmacy. Material and pharmacy. This case here, we give what you call except for type of opinion. Alafu hapa tunapeana what you call nini? Disclaimer. Disclaimer, opinion. The same with this one here with the option. The matter is material but not what? Pharmacy. The matter is material and what? Pharmacy. So after you also give what you call nini? Except type of opinion. Then here we give what you call nini? Adverse opinion. So the limitation of the scope arises whereby auditor has not been provided with sufficient evidence. For that case, cannot what? Conclude. So ukiangalia hapo, they have provided the support letter, the comfort letter. So this auditor has been provided what? Evidence, right? Now, is there a violation of accounting standard in that question? You part 1. Is there a matter of disagreement? Hakuna, sindio? It doesn't measure. So there's nothing affecting disagreement, either to issue adverse opinion or accept. But what does auditors want to do? What are they saying? The auditor has suggested that due to the seriousness of the situation, the audit opinion must at least be qualified, except for that was not very much reasonable, because so there is enough evidence being provided by the company to just give a good report, but you can give that emphasis of the matter paragraph. That's all. But Peter, to get the matter of the emphasis paragraph, this matter, yes, it affected us as uncertainty of the business as a going concern. It affected the uncertainty of the business as a going concern. So give a unqualified opinion, but with an emphasis of the matter what paragraph. So let's answer that question part. Let's begin with part one. Say that if the letter of the support had not been received, if the letter of the support had not been received, if the letter of the support had not been received, then a qualified report, sorry, then a qualified opinion, then a qualified opinion, then a qualified opinion would have been issued, would have been issued. Under adverse opinion, under adverse opinion, under adverse opinion. However, the company has received, however, the company has received, however, the company has received the support, sorry, the company has received a letter of support, a letter of support from the parent company, from the parent company. This is considered as a sufficient, appropriate audit evidence. This is considered as a sufficient, appropriate audit evidence, for the sufficient, appropriate auditor evidence. Hence, a qualified audit opinion, hence a qualified audit opinion would be unnecessary. The audit senior's proposal is unsuitable. The audit senior proposal is unsuitable. The audit senior proposal is unsuitable. The audit senior's proposal is unsuitable. The report should be unmodified. The report should be unmodified with an emphasis of the matter paragraph. The report should be unmodified with an emphasis of the matter paragraph. Then if you go to number 2 is about accounting policy. That's a very serious matter. It's about disagreement. There's a disagreement, there's a departure on well-known accounting policy. Of course, taking into consideration the impairment which they ought not, they have not done so. So hapo is a disagreement hapo. And what are they saying? What's the audit here saying? Hey, anasema the qualification not required. That's very wrong. Still, in that case, qualification will be required, and a very strong type of a qualification will be required. So write that M Limited has changed its accounting policy. M Limited has changed its accounting policy. M Limited has changed its accounting policy for goodwill during the year. For goodwill during the year. For goodwill during the year. From amortization from amortization over its estimated useful life, 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 to annual impairment testing, to annual impairment testing. And no disclosure has been provided for this effect. And no disclosure has been provided for this effect. Failure to disclose the reasons for change in policy, failure to disclose the reasons for the change in policy, failure to disclose the reasons for change in policy, i.e. to comply with IFRS, to comply with IFRS 3, to comply with IFRS 3, business consultations, business consultations, and its effects, means that the financial statements do not comply with IS 8, in bracket amortization. A qualified opinion is therefore required. A qualified opinion is therefore required. A qualified opinion is therefore required on the grounds of disagreement. On the grounds of disagreement. On the grounds of disagreement. If the matter is material, if the matter is material and pervasive, if the matter is material and pervasive, if the matter is material and pervasive, then adverse opinion should be issued. Hence, the audit senior opinion, of using an emphasis the matter paragraph cannot be appropriate. The audit senior proposal is unsuitable. The audit senior proposal is unsuitable unless all aspects of the change, are adequately disclosed. Then except opinion will be required. Then except opinion will be required. Then except opinion will be required. On the grounds of disagreement. On the grounds of disagreement. So that question just testing whether you understand auditor's report, the implication of the going concern of the auditor's report, the foundation, these two areas suffer, understanding the limited scope, enough now. So one was about lack of that support can affect this. The new appealing is about the application accounting standards and affect this. Is the material statements or the financial statements. So that's the end of that. That's much we can do regarding going concern. So we can be prepared on the indicators areas, on the mitigation of measures to be taken, and that's now also the procedures, management now is auditors. We can be tested on those areas. So our next part is subsequent events as per the ISA 560. Subsequent events as per the ISA 560. Subsequent events reviewed as per the ISA 560. Subsequent events. Subsequent events. Subsequent events. Subsequent events as per the ISA 560. Then accounting standard rapid, IS rapid. The going concern is one, IS rapid are subsequent events. IS what? 10. Subsequent events is a 560, then IS 10. So the accounting part, you look at the IS 10, auditing part, you look at the international standards of 560. So what we need to know is what are the subsequent events, then the classification or the forms of the subsequent events, then the respective responsibility, the directors, now the management. Then the last one, the procedures performed by the auditor with respect to what? Subsequent what? Events. Now, in the reporting by the auditor on the subsequent events, kuna key reporting dates, which we need to be conversant with. Kuna key reporting dates. Kuna key reporting dates, which we need to be very conversant with. Put it down the subsequent events. The key reporting dates. Key reporting dates. The key reporting dates. The key reporting dates. Sasa ya kwanza hapa tuko na what we call the financial reporting date. Financial statements. Reporting date. Reporting date. If you just refer to the balance sheet date, the balance sheet date, the balance sheet date, the balance sheet date. Then to get up, the next important date is the auditor's report date. Auditors report date. Auditor report date. The next date is date financial statements. Date financial statements. Date financial statements. Financial statements are authorized for issue. The financial statements are authorized for issue. Then the last one to go now, AGM date. AGM date. So kuna key events which happens between here. Some idea. How many here? What we call the subsequent events. I see. Oh, balance sheet events. Those are the key reporting dates. Just as per the IS10 for the balance sheet events, identify a format for two events. One, you want to call the adjusting events. Adjusting events. Adjusting events. So these are the events that provides condition which existed at the reporting date here. There matters the events which are arising, but they do provide condition that existed working at the balance sheet date. Those figures in the financial statements are affected by those particular events. The adjusting what? Events. The number two, keep on out for the non-adjusting events. Non-adjusting events. The non-adjusting events. The non-adjusting events. The non-adjusting events. That's easy. They do not provide condition that exists working for the balance sheet. So the reporting date. They relate to the matters arising after the reporting what date, but do not give evidence of the condition which existed working here. They have nothing to do with the matters that were existing here. They arose later. So the requirement is that as per the IS1, so the IS10, for the adjusting events, whenever they've been identified between this particular period 1 after, then the financial statements must be what? Amended. When these adjusting events, then come to the attention of the management or the auditor for this period 1 upper, the financial statements need to be amended. Whenever they've been identified between the auditor's reporting date and the date of the financial statements upper being authorized and issued, here period 2, they need to be what? Amended. Whenever they've been discovered between the date of the financial statements are authorized for issue and the date of the AGM upper, number, which is the period 3 upper, the financial statements need to be amended. However, for the non-adjusting events, only when they are material, whenever they've been identified here, 1, 2, 3, the what is required just a disclosure of the notes of the financial statements. For this one, upper, amendments are must. The financial statements need to be what? Amended whenever they've been identified. But for the non-adjusting events, only if material, then a disclosure on the notes of the account shall be required. For the non-adjusting events, only a disclosure on the notes of the account shall be required if they are material. If they are material. So, in terms of auditor's responsibility, in this period upper, the date of when the financial statements are reported and the date of the auditor's report here, auditor has what we call active duty. Auditor has active duty to perform audit procedures to identify any subsequent events. So upper auditor must be able to design his audit procedures in a manner that he can be able to detect any subsequent events. So as per the ISA 560, auditor has an active duty, has a responsibility of identifying subsequent events. Now, one of those procedures are done by the auditor after being able to identify the subsequent events. Okay, between the auditor's reporting date and the date the financial statement were issued, our auditor have what we call passive duty. Auditor has got no duty. He has no responsibility of identifying subsequent events. However, when it comes to his attention that there are subsequent events, you need to consider to have a discussion with the management and perform the necessary auditing procedures. The same also upper auditor has what you call passive duty. He has no obligation of identifying subsequent events. However, whenever it comes to his attention, he should be able to hold discussion with the management and perform the necessary auditing tests and procedures. So this happens in the most difficult period for the auditor. Upper. For financial statements, the shareholder is the shareholders do have a copy. The members of the public or shareholders access the copy, like the media. Then again, you are the auditor to identify what is the subsequent events upper, which is adjusted, which calls for the financial statements to be amended. So you have to have a discussion with the management, telling them, you have to recall those particular copies and have them being amended, which happens with the most difficult part for the auditing. For such second level period, auditors will receive what you call professional and legal what advice. So you never know what the management or the shareholder will be bringing next. Whenever they have identified certain what deficiency that happened during the process of the financial statements auditing. So what else with the subsequent events? Okay, so that's the things that we need to cover for your subsequent events matter. So as we don't have time, tutazipitia allocation to get those important areas of the subsequent events as we continue with our discussion in these areas. Kesho wacha tuone tutafika wapi. Tukimaliza kwenda tusipomaliza kuna next week kwa maana hapa.
The last.
This is the last topic. Yes. Then kuna zile zingine tu za kuparaji for knowledge awareness. So let's end there. Then we meet tomorrow 8:30. We continue with that chapter. Yes.